but I was born and raised in Watford. My heart belongs here, you know. I spend a lot of my time here. And my heart will always be here. I think if you grew up here, you'll know what I mean. See, right now we're back on the Meriden estate. This is where I grew up. I've got my mate that I grew up with, used to play football. He lives in the house there. I can take you to the house where I grew up, where I was raised. That's where this is the Badger pub, where all the boys used to hang out behind the pub. Probably say I know about everyone on this road, you know. This is where we used to go up and be naughty, see these little garages behind there. My mum and dad came here from Nigeria when they was about 20, worked really hard, built themselves up, and then this is where I was brought up. This is what we use as a goal. My sister was a good goalkeeper. I'd use her in goal, I'd take shots. Most of the time, I'll find myself on the other side of that fence, getting up to mischief, setting fires. You know what it's like when you're young. You see what they've done, though? They've cut the barbed wire off so they can climb over. Still got it, G. I had some really good friends in the far corner. Luckily, he used to have a quad bike. He would bring out a little 50cc around here, weren't too noisy. Jerry Halliwell's best friend's grandma lived there, so she used to pop over and come see her. So I met Jerry Halliwell a few times. You know, it was a really nice area. Summer days, just used to come out here and eat your dinner. And this is it. This is the post. See, you can walk all the way across without falling off. When you're younger, you could go out, but you're not allowed to leave the cul-de-sac. So we had to make sure we had enough equipment to keep us occupied for the day. We used to climb this tree. Now I'm this big. This tree don't look that big to me, but when I was about this height, this tree was something that I'd only find in the Amazon. This looked to me like acres of land. But now I'm this big, it just looks so small. My name is Antony Joshua. In Watford, I was known as Femi. My parents moved to London, so I wanted to stay in Watford because obviously that's where my heart's been and that's where my heart's at. I'm a loyal character. So instead of moving to London, I could either have declared myself homeless, but I went down the route of trying to get into a hostel. I used to see my friends that were about a year older, 2 years older than me coming round in Corsas with exhaust pipes, booming sound systems, and there's me on a pedal bike. So I wanted to follow in their footsteps, and you know, I got caught up in some of the wrong things. It doesn't take a long time for things to happen. You know, time goes quick and a lot can happen. So it wasn't a long time, but a lot went on. And now I look back on it, if I would have taken advice from my parents that have been there, lived life, I may have done things a lot easier. We used to have about 20 of my boys in here playing the PlayStation, betting on fight night, NBA. Then another 20 would turn up. They would all just be chilling downstairs. You know, the guys that used to want to go outside and have a cigarette or something like that, you just used to go out here. I used to have a massive bull mastiff as well that used to live with me. Used to let it run around in the garden and stuff like that. And yeah, this is how we used to live, really. But this was the spot. This is where the massive TV was, and this is where the games went down. This was the gaming room. Then they've now installed a camera because they probably heard about all the mischief we used to get up to. I had to relocate to London to get away from all the trouble because a lot of the police banned me from the district for a year. I was on tag for about 13 months, so a long time. I had to be home at 7:30 every night. It taught me discipline, it taught me a routine that I never had. I had to go and sign on at the station 3 times a week. I had a regimented lifestyle for 13 months, and in that time, I knew that I wanted to put on some size. I wanted to go back to my area looking a lot bigger, a lot stronger, because I wanted to maintain that level of respect I had. I started lifting weights, and my cousin Benga, he brought me down to Finchley ABC, something to keep me occupied, and I went and bought some boots when he lent me some money, and I got involved.
Ben Alimi's Joshua's cousin. He sort of like first introduced Joshua to the gym because he come before him. And he said, why don't you come boxing, Josh? And then sort of like, that was it. If it's in you and you come, you ain't never going to get it out of you. And I think that's what Josh was like.
Then come with that first. Just there. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Not blowing my own trumpet, but I'll know if they're going to be half decent the first time I take them on the pads.
3.
I was windmilling. First 30 seconds, I was blowing. It was tough. I couldn't even skip, combinations. I didn't have anything.
Nice and loose.
And Josh was always, can we do pads? When am I going to do pads? Can I do pads? And he was always pestering, and that's a good thing, because that's why he learned. He was like a sponge. He was like, I want to learn, I want to do this. He was always, when am I going to spar? When am I going to spar? When am I going to do this?
As the months went on, 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, I started noticing improvements in my skipping, within my sparring sessions, guys that would, you know, run rings around me in the ring. I started running rings around them.
When Josh first come to me, I had a Slovakian in the gym, and Josh used to spar him, and this Slovakian used to just do what he wanted with Josh. And a year later, I took Josh to spar him, and he went about a minute and a half, and we had to stop the bout because he was smashed up.
I used to come home with trophies, sit down and watch my fights back. And I was doing something positive for once, something that I could see a future in. I was winning, I was giving it my best, and I was getting the results. You know, I feel I'm made for this sport. A lot of the guys in the gyms have been here since 11, 9, so on and so forth, trying to make their way up to the top. And I come in at 18 and had a lot of luck on my side with a bit of hard work.
He won the under-10 novices, that was his first title, and we went straight in the ABAs. He won the ABAs at his first attempt. The second year he went in, Ben was going in the ABAs. I got the heavyweight and I got the super heavyweight in the final. And I don't think that's been done very often, having the heavyweight and super heavyweight champion of the ABAs.
Patient, off your jab, please. Have a look, Trigger.
He was obviously brought in for an assessment, which tends to happen if you reach the ABA final in the English ABAs. His amateur club had done a fantastic job to get him to GB, and we was fortunate in a way that we had the opportunity to develop a talent such as him, and we took our time and we did it bit by bit.
I'd now conquered the amateur division in England. I knew I was #1 in England. So now, becoming a GB fighter, short-term goal is to become #1 in Great Britain. So everything the coaches told me, I had to listen to. I've always been tall, but my idol at the time, and probably still is Mike Tyson, who's a short guy, 5'11", stocky. I'm a bit taller, thinner, ranger. I used to think I was Mike Tyson and box, short, tucked up. And they told me that's not the way you're going to win these fights as an amateur. You need a hit and don't get hit type of boxing style. So they completely changed me and put me in with experienced fighters, sparring-wise. I got hit hard, you know, I bounced back, I trained, I learned in the gym, which is the best place to do it, which prepared me for international duty.